Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. It is that time of the year again. It is time for Magical Readathon. It got posted, the announcement video got posted today. So of course I rushed home and went through all the prompts. I have swapped out a couple because I couldn't find books that fit. When it comes to Magical Readathon, I do not purchase books for Magical Readathon. I purely work off what I have in my own personal TBR. So yeah, swapped out a couple. But this is my second year. It'll end my second year doing necromancy. So for that, I need an O in Animal Studies, which is a debut book. I picked one that is a debut from last year that I didn't end up reading, and that is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I did pick this for spring, the spring semester for Magical Readathon. Did not end up reading it. But this way, if I do end up reading this, then I will have completed both spring and autumn, and I'll feel less guilty about it. Because this has been sitting on one of my shelves for like 3 or 4 months, and I'm like, I need to read that, I need to read that, I need to finish spring semester, and I didn't. So I'm gonna give it another go. Then I have Spells and Incantations. I have to get a Q in this, so that requires 2 books. The first one was roll a 6-sided dice, and whatever it lands on, that's like the page bracket you have to read. So I got 4, so that means 400 to 500 pages. It kind of sucked because I don't have very many that are within that bracket. I have that a lot that are like right under 400 and like right over 400 to like 550 because I like reading chonky books. So this one again is a repeat from spring, and that is The Songbird in the Heart of Stone. I am halfway through. I will be restarting because it has been quite a while, and Fallen and Kiss of Dusk just came out, which is the second book in this duology, fourth in total in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is one of my favorite romantic series, and I'm trying so hard to get one of my friends at work into the Crowns of Nyaxia because I need someone to scream about with this, because not a lot of people talk about this series, but I love it. I love it almost as much as I love ACOTAR. So yeah, I'm going to read Songbird and Heart of Stone finally. Then I have the second one is released this year. So I had to go back through a lot of the books that I've received, like in Owlcrate boxes, because a lot of my books that I have are Owlcrate editions. So I ended up picking Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. This is kind of like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So this is why I really want to read this. But this will satisfy spells and incantations. Then I need a D for Conjuration, which means I have to have 3 books. So one of these prompts I did end up swapping out. But the first one is Circle on the Cover. So I chose Death Note Volume 2 Black Edition. It has been a while since I read Volume 1, so I feel like I really need to like read Volume 2, but this has a circle around Ryuk's face, so this fits the prompt for that. Then I have Borrow from Another TBR, and I'm going to do exactly what I did for spring and use Good Omens for this one from my own failed TBR. This will be from my failed spring TBR. So again, I'm borrowing from myself, and I just do that because I don't find a lot of people on YouTube, social media, whoever, that post TBRs that I actually like the books that are on the TBR, or I haven't already read them. So yeah, again, I'm stealing from myself for this because I really want to read this and do a media versus source material episode. And then for the third one, I was supposed to find something with food on the cover. I don't have a lot of books that have things that you can eat or drink on the cover. So my only option was like Twilight, but I have a video coming later this year with Twilight and a bunch of other books. So I didn't want to read that. So I ended up swapping it for read the first paragraph of 3 books and then pick the one that you like the most. And that is Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. All I know is that this has to do with Fae, and it's a Y choose and a reverse harem. So sign me up. I guess I am in my Fae era right now. But yeah, I am so excited to read this. This is like the standard like indie published paperback. I know that Fairy Loot did an edition of this and it was like really pretty, but there's no way I'm going to be able to get my hands on that. So I just bought the indie cover. I think it's actually very pretty than like the traditional cover. Then I have to have an O in Restoration, which is only one book, and that was the prompt single POV. I had to actually pick some books off my shelf, ended up Googling if they were dual POV or not. A lot of them are, which I don't blame writers and publishers for like doing more dual POVs, but it's very hard to find books that are only in like a single POV, either like third person, omniscient, or like first person. So, but I ended up picking Immortal Dark by Tigist Gurma. I can never pronounce this. This does have a sequel that's coming out, and Alcrate actually is thinking of doing a sequel to this, so I really want to get this read. So all I know is that it has vampires, and I think like she goes to a special school, something like that. Again, it's been a while, but yeah, this will fulfill Restoration. And then the last one is an O in Demonology, and that was I had to find an emotion in a title. I could not find anything, but I ended up swapping it out because I don't have very many books with emotions in the title. So I ended up swapping it for prime numbers in the title. So I had to Google a list of prime numbers because I am not a math person and it's been a while. So I ended up picking What If Loki Was Worthy by Madeleine Roux. This is what part of the, you can see obviously, What If series. And I think it's like Thor ends up dying and he has to end up taking up Thor's hammer, I think is my vague recollection of this. But I love these Marvel like retellings. One of my most popular videos is my Winter Soldier Cold Front book review. So clearly there is a market for people who want stories like this. So that's why I bought that. So here are my stack. Should have known that was going to happen. Here are my stack of books for Magical Readathon. I am not going to pressure myself to complete all of these in a month because this is a lot of books for me personally to read in a month. And I like to utilize audiobooks for accessibility reasons because I do have ADHD and I have a hard time focusing on books if I don't have an audiobook going along at the same time. It just helps me focus better and helps me take in the story, and I feel like I get a lot more enjoyment out of it. So I am subscribed to Everend. I only get 3 unlocks a month, so that means a lot of times I have to be very careful with what I unlock and what I choose to use my credits on. So I don't know if I'm going to complete all of these this month. I might just slowly complete them and not try to pressure myself to finish them all in a month because it's very hard sometimes for me to do that. So yeah, I will let you know how my readathon goes at the end of this month, and I will see you guys later. Bye!